I'm Chuck Gould. I was born in Cornwall, New York, and when in about 1941, or just after the war, my dad had gone to Waterbury, Connecticut to find work. I stayed there until I was 17. But before that, going back, I guess I was 12 years old, getting ready to be 13. We went to Brooklyn, New York to watch Jackie Robinson in his first season with the Dodgers. And my dad went out that night and came back, and during the night, and he walked through the wrong door out onto the porch and fell on his head and died 2 days later. So in them days, as a 12-year-old, I blamed the Dodgers because we stayed overnight at my cousin's house to see the Dodgers the next day. So I hated the Dodgers for many years, and of course the Yankees were there, and the Red Sox, which I lived halfway between Yankee Stadium and Fenway Park. I guess I didn't do well after my dad died, and I only went to 8th grade, but I ended up being pretty smart. I went to Woodrow Wilson grade school, and I graduated 8th grade. I went to high school, and at 14, I started playing pool a little bit at the YMCA in Waterbury, Connecticut. When I was in high school, I'd go to the first 2 classes, and then Ernie was the guy who ran the pool hall. He said, "I'll give you free time if you come over and help me clean up and get it ready to open." I was down there with the politicians and the gangsters and them type of people, and I'm 15, 16 years old, 17, and they're in their 20s to 30s. Anyway, I go down and help them, and I have free time. Now, some good player comes in, I could play him for time. Loser pays. Well, I don't have to pay because I got free time coming. Back in them days, I played straight pool and I played Chicago. That's how when I was 16, 17, I could go down to New York City and play for money. And I used to bring money home to my mom that I would win in pool. Viola Ethel Gould. That's the only way I could help her. And then I was always working. I always worked part-time. I helped the milkman deliver the milk. I set pins, duck pins like Chicago. I caddied at the golf course.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about between 15 and 17 because I left when I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that's why I went in the Marines to get my shit together, actually. And they were drafting in the Army and and all the different ones, but not in the Marines.
No.
So it was a voluntary thing, so I was able to get in. So I have to go to Massachusetts. I have to go to Springfield, Massachusetts for my physical. The recruiting office is in Hartford, Connecticut, and I lived in Waterbury. And I go up there and I pass my physical. Well, by the time you got from Springfield, Massachusetts back to Hartford, the train, and to get sworn in, the train had already left going to South Carolina. So what do? Where would I go? I still do it today. I went to the pool hall. Willie Pep, he was a lot older than me. He was a world champion boxer. And he knows me because I was the water boy at the fights. That was under the part-time job. I carried the bucket at the fights. I still owe him $10. He gave me $10. So I got to play pool all night. Boot camp, okay, here's what happened. I think there were 77 of us, something like that. 72 of them they sent to Camp Pendleton for training and sent them to Korea.
Mm-hmm.
And there was about 4 of us.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't go. I got sent to Camp Lejeune to wait to go to cook school in Fort Benning, Georgia, on an Army base.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of others went to some other kind of school. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But all those guys that went to Korea got killed. So I was one of the lucky ones that they sent me where they sent me. So I didn't get to go to Korea. They said, okay, we're sending you out to Camp Pendleton. And so they give me $300 travel pay. But they gave me 30 days leave. So what do? I go back, and man, I'm living it up. 30 days?